my neighborhood. We are always so proud of our Kentucky Science Center and all the fabulous things that they have for our young people, for our families, even for our adults. They have had wonderful parties
for sure.
For the groom vote.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Taylor Uselis is here. She is the manager of marketing and communications. A lot going on.
Yes, a lot. We have several things happening just next week.
Yeah.
The first of which is our renovated Who Fought It exhibit is reopening. So, you know, guests may remember Who Fought It as a fort building exhibit where you
now, see, you say that so easy. I say it and it just tickles me.
I know, but we are used to it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I'm like, okay, it's a name, people.
It's designed to make you giggle.
Okay.
So you're allowed to. But yeah, it's usually, you know, blankets and sofas and pipes, and you're building forts, right?
Right, but you're totally redoing that.
Completely redone, thanks to Buffalo Construction. They came in and completely redid the whole entire exhibit. And now we've got all that fun fort building stuff, but we also have a dig pit that has a slide in it. So it's a big dig pit. You can slide into it, and it has little construction tools that kids can play with in the dig pit. It also has a like almost half constructed house inside of it, so you can see how construction works and how engineering works when you're doing it, you know, in the actual moment. And then there's the fort building, but there's also Legos. There's a Lego space as well, and it's just, we're so excited.
Like, who didn't build a fort as a kid?
I know, right?
Right.
And it's, you know, fort building is engineering, and so that's what we're trying to emphasize at the Science Center, is that, you know, all of these cool exhibits link up to a real world profession or a real world craft, something that someone actually does, so that kids can kind of, you know, see what that's like and see if they maybe want to be an engineer one day.
Yeah, we got Maker Days coming up.
Yeah, and that's related too. So Who Fought It opens on November 12th. We're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony at 10 a.m. And then we turn around, and on the 15th and the 16th, so that's next Friday and Saturday, we have Maker Days. And so Maker Days are actually an annual event as well, designed to help connect the workforce pipeline from kids to professions. So we have a bunch of partners come in on Friday and Saturday who are in the making profession. And, you know, you may be asking, do you know what making is, Dawn?
I do. We
did.
We had the Maker Day.
We did.
And you all, I tell them and they don't hear me, you all had me try to make things.
You did pretty well. But that's the thing about making.
Yeah.
It's about trial and error.
It's about trying, though.
And it's about, you know, the intersection of science and creativity, science and art.
You get to get in there and do whatever it is you're making on that day. It's always something different, right?
Yep. And so what we want kids to see when they come to Maker Days is that there are all kinds of professions that use making, and you don't have to identify it as science or engineering. You know, you could call it making.
And you don't even have to like it. Just give it a go.
Exactly. Just give it a try. And again, making is all about trial and error, tinkering, you know, exploring curiosity. And so on Friday and Saturday of next week, we'll have a bunch of professions, people who are partnering with us come in and talk about their careers and be stationed all over the Science Center, in addition to all of our regular exhibits, including
just doing lots of different
different types of experiments, different types of crafts, hands-on activities for sure. And Friday is a real big field trip day because of that, so a lot of field trips will be there, but Saturday is more for families and regular guests.
All right. We've got lots of holidays coming up,
yes,
especially like Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holiday time off. You all generally, especially during that time, have JCPS camps when school is out. And that's great for parents who are still at work or need somewhere for the kids to go. But this is somewhere for the kids to go where they're not just sitting, they're learning, they're having fun, they're safe.
We like to say when school's out, science is in at our science camps, because that's really what it is. You know, when kids come to our science camps, every day that JCPS is out of school, we have what's called a pay-by-day camp. So you're only paying for one day at a time. You don't have to pay for a whole week at a time the way that you would during the summer. And we are trying to keep the learning going. So science is in, and we're having fun doing science while school's out. So it's fun and learning at the same time, and they can still be, you know, using their active imaginations and minds instead of hanging out on their iPads like my kids do.
Yeah, well, and sometimes the iPad is good.
Yes.
But sometimes it's good to step back
Yes.
and actually do some.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that they're not doing something, but actually do something.
Yeah, do science.
And if it's pay by day, maybe my family and I, we're going to be home for 3 days,
Yep.
but we're going to take off for 2 of those days. We didn't pay for the last 2 days.
That's right. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you become part of that? How do you find out about it?
Go to kysciencecenter.org and click on camp. It's one of the buttons on the homepage, and you can sign up for all the camps throughout the rest of the whole year there.
Okay, better to go ahead and do that because they do sell out. They can sell out.
They do sell out,
Okay.
especially during the winter holiday. They're going to be very popular, and members do get a lower rate, so it's like $10 off for members. So if you're a
Okay.
member of Kentucky Science Center, then you can get it for cheaper.
There you go. Did we miss anything?
We have a new movie, if we have
And I
time.
love the movies real quick.
Yeah, new movie is called Space: The New Frontier. You can see it on
There
the
it
screen
is.
there. And that is all about how we're traveling to the moon these days, which is totally different than in
Yeah.
the past. You know, we're getting some private enterprises to the moon in addition to government-funded
That's
ones.
huge news, especially with those astronauts that have been,
Yep.
up in
Forever.
You know, they've
Yes.
been there for a while. We're gonna bring them home.
Yes,
though.
we are, yeah.
Yeah, and I love how big that screen is.
I know, it's so fun to see movies there, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right.
That's
Hey,
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate it. Our Kentucky Science Center, KentuckyScienceCenter.org. If you want those camp days, go on there and reserve what days you want because they do sell out.